Okay, good morning. All right, so here's the question y'all been begging to hear. The answer to which one do I like better? Which baler? Which one, the Krone or the Heston? Well, let me get that cough out of the way, and I'm out of coffee. So, anyway, here it is. You can't really compare the two balers. They're not comparable. They are from two very different generations of baler. Heston has gone through, I think, three different configurations, two or three different configurations since that baler was built. This is a 2003 model 4910, and I think I don't even know what the next model number is. 2644 or some shit like that is the next model, and now it's just even different yet. But anyway, so the Krone, which you will see in the at the end of this video, and I'm just gonna let it go naturally. The film is you're just gonna listen to the sights and the sounds and pay attention, because there's a lot of wildlife activity in that video. I was rather amazed myself as I watched it this morning. Of course, this footage is a couple of days old because we are back into a rain pattern, bracing for a hurricane or two, or even possibly three. But anyway, so when it comes down to the Heston does very well. The modifications that I've done to it and the adjustments to the knotters have worked wonderfully. It's taken a 650-pound knot strength twine, and it is making a knot without any problems. So, yeah, that's working. It doesn't. I'm still having a little trouble with a banana bale in certain hay conditions, so it's just kind of pissing me off. But I will get to the bottom of it. I got a pretty good idea how to fix it and what I'm going to do to fix it, and it is in the hold back finger area. I put the poly liner in there, and they said that that's not going to affect that at all. That should actually create a tighter, squarer bale, which in fact it hasn't really changed too much. I mean, I haven't broke a shear bolt since I've done that. But anyway, that's just enough of that. So what is happening is, as the precharge chamber is filled to the top, the hay is actually scooting around the holdback fingers within the precharge chamber, and when that happens, the bottom of the plunger grabs a portion of hay, whether it's a foot long or whatever can get up past those forks. The plunger grabs it, shoves it into the bottom of the bale before the trip pan can trip, and it just starts building mini slices in the bottom of the bale, causing it to banana bale. Now, the Krone has a very different system. Their trip pan is actually at the top of the plunger. It's not, or top of the precharge chamber, or at least in the middle of it. Actually, it's not even. It isn't. Let's put it this way: where in the hell is that thing? It's not even a pan. It goes off of the fingers, the holdback fingers, and there's 5 times as many of those in there. I mean, if the Krone has, or the Heston has 6 of them, or I think there's 6 holdback fingers. That's it. The Krone has one every 3 inches. Those holdback fingers are huge. They stick all the way across the precharge chamber, and when it trips it pulls the fingers back, and I'll demonstrate that in a future video. But the Heston, on the other hand, it only has these 6 tiny little fingers that are supposed to hold back a 4 foot tall, 4 foot wide flake of hay, and it's just not doing it. I went over to my neighbor's baler and measured his, and his are the same. Now, he says he doesn't have that problem. Well, I don't know that he doesn't have that problem. I asked him if he ever walked alongside the baler and looked at it to see if it was a problem or not. And he said no, but that's okay. I am going to add about 3 inches of tooth to the end of each and every one of those things. What I have to do is run the baler through a cycle, see how far back the needles or the fingers come back out of the bale chamber or the precharge chamber, and then I am going to actually weld pieces to the end of it so that when they do retract, they retract flush with the back of the precharge chamber. If they don't, then they don't. So that's the last issue that I really have with the Heston baler. Now, the Heston baler is a half-speed baler. When you watch how fast I'm going with this Krone at the end of this video, or the remainder of the video, you're going to be blown away as to the speed that I am moving in. I wasn't really pushing the baler at all. I could push the baler and get up around 8-9 miles an hour, and then every once in a while I'll trip the pickup or the stuffer, which I don't like doing, because then I got to stop, and it becomes it's hard on the baler. Let's just not do that, you know. It's like, okay, let's get to the limit, then back it off a little bit, so that in case I do get some wet hay in the baler, that it's not going to trip that thing out. And I baled like a crazy man. This hay, even though these windrows don't look very big, there was a lot of material here. I mean, there was a lot of material here, especially for this farm. This is a farm I picked up in the spring, and if you watch my Instagram, and possibly made a video on it where they had left all the bales out in the field for 2 years, and I had to push them all off. Well, this is that farm. That ground was so neglected. And when I say neglected, I mean it was neglected. There hadn't been fertilizer put on this property since 1991. And that comes from someone who used to farm the ground, or took the weed off. You're not on film. It's okay, babe. She's got William. No. I'm just doing a voiceover. It's okay. She's holding William, and he is doing well. How's William doing? Well, he looks cute as a button, and he's wide awake. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. He's wide awake. Now, William sleeps all day and cries all night. Right? So there's a little bit of a William insertion into this video. So anyway, yeah, if anybody asks me which one is the better baler, which baler would I take, hands down the Krone, because I'm into speed and production. The Heston baler is doing just fine. It is doing what it was intended for. It bales hay. Is it a rocket ship? Hell no. Does it make a nice tight square bale? Not as tight and square as I'd like it to. We can overload the connecting rods and not break the strings, which is what the diamond plate board that I put on was supposed to do. Did you hear that burp? That was a big one. That was that kid. Anyway, yeah, it's doing its job. I think my sensors, I got to talk to Heston or even Mays Corporation to see if there is a breaking point for those connecting rods, because I could totally press a shit ton more hay into that baler without having any problems. We're not slipping the clutches. The pressure on the boards is probably 1,500 pounds less than it normally would be. So I'm thinking if I talk to the Mays Corporation, shut off the buzzer, they're going to tell me, yeah, you can probably run it up. You could probably run it up to the 1,500 pounds on the boards and compress a bale to the point where you're going to break the strings. And that's what I want to do, because I need high-pressure bales. The Krone, it shits out a very consistent bale that is tight and full, right clear to the top. Doesn't matter whether the hay is 40% moisture or 4% moisture. It makes a hell of a bale. But anyhow, I've yammered on for 8 minutes, and now you can watch the rest of the video. Turn the volume up a little bit. You'll hear the engine run and the hum of the IVT. And just watch the wildlife that's around us. Every day. I mean, this is an everyday occurrence for me. I live a beautiful life. I can look out my office window and see a different view every day. And if you're, someone that is sitting in a chair looking out over a cubicle wall, maybe you can turn on my video and enjoy some scenery, because here it comes. Thanks for watching.